Namaste, hi lovely yogis, Nicole here from the studio. What a great day up here in North Queensland. I am so blessed to be in this body and be back in my home, and the studio is looking top notch. I've had decks resealed and basically back to brand new, so I just can't wait to share that space. So I'm heading off overseas to visit my love for a few weeks, so I'm back teaching terms. Condensed terms from the 7th and 9th of September. And then I head, of course, across to Bali to host our wonderful, abundant yoga retreat in Bali for 5 days. But before I head off, I wanted to share with you a little bit more about my personal practice. So I thought, what better way to leap forward and to share with you how to deconstruct the beautiful crow pose. So I'm going to be using some blocks, and I'm also going to be just giving you some asana to actually support you to develop that freedom, I guess, or that confidence that you can actually support yourselves with modifications. So what I'd like you to do is just start, if you can, just by coming into your toe squat. So if you're not able to kind of find that space or that stability in the toes, what we can actually do is use a block towards the backs of the ankles. So this is actually quite lovely because what we want to be doing in our crow pose is actually starting to elevate and lift ourselves forward. So this can actually sometimes help with the adjustments in terms of the alignment that we might need to make. So let's just come in. So this is just lovely to start to ground you, but also to start to lift. So what I want you to focus on is lifting through the navel cavity and lifting up through the bundas in the chest. So let's give that a try. So just lift the breath. See how that feels for the body. Next is I'd like you to rock forward, and if you're still on your block, let's rest the backs of the heels back onto the block. And let's come up onto find the spring of the fingers. So what I'd like you to do is just rest the heels back. If you don't have a block, just grab a book or something to support you. And I want you to really just tilt the navel tilt back. I'd also like you to lift the navel, so I want you to get this lift up through the chest. Because in our crow pose, what we're actually looking for is lift in the bunda. Lift through the perineum and the navel, lift up through the back of the heart, lift through the throat. So if we're lifting up through the navel and then release ourselves forward into forward fold, still up on the tippy toes with the backs of the heels back. So I want you to kind of get this lift up through the front of the ribs. Exhale and release. And lift again up onto the spring of the toes. Together you're getting a nice hamstring movement, length through the space here. Exhale and release. Beautiful. So now as we start to just gather a bit of perspective, so I'd like to have a bit of a focal point out in front of me as well. Because when we're coming into the crow, what we're actually doing, as I said, is lifting up, but we need a focal point out in front. So you can see I've got a beautiful bunch of flowers in front of me, so that just helps me to focus as I lift. Two other options, grab some books or some other blocks. So I'm going to be experimenting with the lift here. So with the backs of the heels, what we want to do here is see if we can actually come back to lift the backs of the knees into resting into the back of the arms there. So just getting this sensation first. So this could be enough for you. So lift up. So you can also just tap one foot at a time to see how that feels. Okay, so all the strength up through the bundas, and then just relax the feet back. Exhale into your forward fold. Once again, so you may actually also like to try it with extra blocks at the back. So coming in to find perhaps 2 blocks at the back rather than just having 1 block. So maybe the next option is to place the knees, first option, on the outside of the backs of the arms. So it's kind of like a frog pose. So we're grounding down through the hands And you may want to take a little lift. So see how that feels for you. Taking a little lift into froggy. Once again. Okay, so, and let's see if we can actually also now just come into starting a little bit more of a higher lift into the pose here. So I'm going to be using the blocks here. Sometimes what happens is that if we're practicing in the yoga gear that is a little bit slippery, we tend to sometimes lose some grip. So I'm just thinking I just moisturised a little bit early today, so there may not be enough grip kind of in amongst the backs of my flesh, in the backs of my arms to hold, but let's see how we go here. So just sometimes with the yoga tights too, they might slip on the knees. So let's deconstruct that. Place the hands down, strong into the earth. Raise the bundas up. So this could be enough for you here. Raise the chest forward. Lift the navel. Up to the tippy toes. And take your flight. So we're lifting up. Let's try that again. I can just feel the sweat kind of starting to form on the body. So let's see how we go again. Lifting up. This could be you here. Nice bunda grip. Lifting the chest. So see how that feels for you. Beautiful yogis. Coming in to take flight into this amazing pose for strength, amazing pose for balance, just an overall just wonderful pose if it's accessible for you. So hopefully with these blocks and with some of these adjustments, you too can take flight. So lots of love everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I look forward to touching base with you at some time over the next couple of weeks. So namaste everyone. Take care.